Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming here this evening. I ask Jesus and our spiritual mentors to help me out to make this presentation, to inspire me and inspire you to receive all this information that I prepared. We are starting with the thoughts. Thoughts are things. Thoughts are not something immaterial. It is something very material. I'm gonna show you guys why. The thought is essential to our success, our happiness as human beings. They are the creator of our environment where we live, all the good or bad things. Everything is created by thought in our minds, and then later in reality, it becomes reality. Consciously or unconsciously, we create everything that we think. So to start, I'm going to show you part of a movie I watched. The movie is Life is Beautiful, and it's about a person that learned that with his will and his thought, he could do anything he wanted. Uh, his name is Guido, and he is the father of Joshua, and they are Jews on the Second World War, and they went to a concentration camp in Italy, and Guido, the father, he tries to protect his son. And he decides the best way to protect his son is to make him think that that place is not a concentration camp, that they are part of a game instead. And with this risky attitude that he decides to do, at the end it works very well. He protects his son in a way that at the end the son survives, and he kind of goes in a decent, like he doesn't suffer as much as he would, not even closer to what he would if he knew what was really going on, that he was a prisoner and his life was at risk. Instead, he was thinking always this was a game. So I'm going to show just the beginning of it, the part where he explains, the father explains what was going on for his son. This is right when they get to the concentration camp, and then a guard comes and asks for a translator because he wants to explain what are how the prisoners have to act. And Guido, the father, he doesn't speak any German, but he says, "I'm going to do the translation," and then you can see what happens after that.
Capito? C'è uno che parla tedesco, spiega tutte le regole del campo. Chi sia tedesco? No. Meine Herren, ich sage euch noch einmal, comincia il gioco, chi c'è, chi non c'è, non c'è. Ihr seid nur aus einem einzigen Grund in dieses Lager transportiert worden. Si vince a 1000 punti, il primo classificato vince un carro armato, vero? Arbeit. Beato lui. Jeder Versuch der Sabotage wird mit sofortigen Todesstrafe. Hinrichtungen finden auf dem Hof durch Schüsse in den Rücken statt. Ogni giorno vi daremo la classifica generale da quella sopportante là. All'ultimo classificato verrà attaccato con un cartello con sul scritto asino, qui sulla schiena. Ja, die Regierung unserer großen Vaterland arbeiten zu dürfen und am Bau des Großdeutschen Reiches teilzunehmen. Noi facciamo la parte di quelli cattivi che urlano. Chi ha paura pensa punti. 3 Grundregeln sollten ihr nie vergessen. Erstens, versuche nicht zu fliehen. Zweitens, folge jedem Befehl oder Fragen. Drittens, jeder Versuch eines Aufstandes wird mit dem Tod durch Erhängen bestraft. Ist das klar? In 3 casi si perdono tutti i punti. Li perdono. 1. Quelli che si mettono a piangere. 2. Quelli che vogliono vedere la mamma. 3. Quelli che hanno fame e vogliono la merendina. Scordatevela! Es wird niemand etwas geschehen. Die Vorstandsbefehl. È molto facile perdere punti per la fame. Io stesso ieri ho perso 40 punti perché volevo a tutti i costi un panino con la marmellata. Guarda Caritales, dal bigotto. Trova il mare. Lui di fragole. Scusate se vado di fretta, ma oggi sto giocando a nascondino. Ora vado, se non mi fa notare.
Yeah. Go back here. What happened is like the in my interpretation. So it's this is a movie, right? My interpretation is like the father felt powerless. He was in an environment that he could not do anything. He was a prisoner. He could not challenge the rules. The only power he had to protect his son was to control what the son would think. And so he decided to do it in the movie. This is a fiction. It's not a real story, but it's a very interesting one. So he controlling the thoughts of his son. He was able to protect him. He was able to get his son over all this super terrible experience. And the son at the end, he really he survives, and he doesn't suffer like 90% of the trouble that was inside the camp. So he was very successful. Our thought is a very powerful thing. That's my the lesson I learned from the. It's a very powerful thing. Sometimes it doesn't matter where we are in the situation we are, but if we have a thought that helps us to go through this, it's really it helps us a lot. Um, so what is thought? According to we have a materialist view that the thoughts originate in the brain. The brain is a biological and chemical machine and our thoughts are the creation of this brain. And then based on our genetics, our education, that's what generates our thoughts. In Spiritism, we think that the thought is generated by spirit. We have three parts. As incarnated spirit, we have three parts: the spirit, perispirit, and the body. We represent here the spirit, perispirit, and the body. They are here separated, but in fact, they are all together. So the body and talks or connects the spirit to the perispirit and vice versa. The spirit connects to the body to the perispirit. So they are all one thing. And the spirit is the important part. Is the part that does the thinking. The spirit thinking, and then all the thoughts go to the brain, and the brain commands the body. That's so the body in effect is a very marvelous machine that the spirit controls most of the aspects of the body. And so in the spiritual realm, the thought is used by the spirits to build things. That's what we learn with in spiritism. We we is the way they say the way we incarnated use our hands is the same way the spirits will use their thoughts to build things the same way we use our hands. So it's a very powerful energy. Actually, Emmanuel he says that there are three very important kinds of energy in the universe, which is the electricity, which is what our lights are being done by electricity, the electromagnetism, which is, for instance, our cell phones use it to communicate, and the thought. He says this is also one energy. And the science today cannot measure it. That's why we don't, the science doesn't like stuff that they can't feel or can't measure. We I already learned that science just likes to see something they can really touch, and the thought is still not there. We cannot measure that yet, but they say, Emmanuel says that that's an energy that we can measure. In the future, we're going to learn that. So even if you read the book No Solar, there or Astral City, that you can all that city is built by the thoughts of the population. Is built and kept by them. So they live there and they have a pact that they are going to keep only good thoughts and good actions. The population does that. They keep it as a priority for them, and so they keep that city peaceful and beautiful and the way it is just by their thoughts. They keep their thoughts elevated. So let's think a little bit if the most important part in our body and in our as incarnated person is the spirit, and thought is the energy that communicates with the spirit. So we, for sure, will have the thoughts will influence our lives, and we, as the spirits, will also influence other lives, people around us, the environment where we live. Our thoughts will influence everything there. So it's a very important energy that there is. So we should maybe learn more about this energy that's going to benefit us as we can see in the future. So I'm gonna give you guys some examples of good and bad thoughts. I'm gonna start with Mrs. Payne. It's a fictitious person. She is married, she has kids and a husband, and she is a person that is always complaining. She she, she says that her husband doesn't like her. He doesn't like to spend time with her, doesn't love her. The kids they don't respect her and they don't love her. And the neighbors are jealous about her. And all the people in the church are hypocrites. So they go to the church, but they don't practice what they teach there. So she's always complaining about everything and everybody. At some point, at old age, she discarnates and returns to the spiritual life. And because she has so many negative thoughts, she goes to the umbral, which, for the ones that doesn't know, it's a bad place. It's not a place we want to go. But because she has so many negative thoughts and she has all this bad energy, right? That's the place where she connects. That's what happens after we disincarnate. We connect to the place where we have the affinity, and that's the place she goes because of her decisions, the way she spent her life. Uh, and then she spent a long time there. She suffers quite a bit, and after some time, she starts thinking about her actions in life, and she starts to repent and think, I should maybe change. I did something wrong, and she asks for help, and she gets help, and then she's transported to a better place, which is like a astral city, like no solar, a place like that. After some time, she gets treated, and they find a place for her with her old relatives from other lives, and it's a nice place, and she likes it a lot, and she's very happy. And at the beginning, everything is beautiful, like she's in a honeymoon with the new place. But after some time, she starts to go back to what she was before. So she started to complain that the relatives don't like her, they don't give attention to her. Everybody's a hypocrite. They talk about Jesus and Christ, but they don't apply what they to her. So nobody likes her. And so this is you can see the example means it doesn't matter where this person is, right? She can get a lifetime in Cancun in a hotel, and she will still find problems there, right? She still will be not happy. It doesn't matter where she is because there is something inside of her that is unhappy, right? And then we have the opposite, Mr. Lovejoy. So Mr. Lovejoy is a old man. He's old but young in spirit. He is a very talkative, happy, lucid. It's a very likable person. Everybody likes to be around him. When people ask him what is his secret, and he says that every morning I go to my front of the mirror and start talking to myself, and then I say, So let's make a decision. We want the day to go happy or be unhappy in this day that God gave me today. And the decision is always yes, I'm going to be happy. And he says in the beginning this didn't work at all, but kept trying, and every day I was able to improve a little bit, and my day was better, and then that gave me more motivation to keep, thank you, to keep doing it. And with time, so my whole day is really happy. That's the way my life is going now. I enjoy every day that God gives to me. There are many new people that I meet, and every new person is a new experience in my life. And people like to be around me because I have good energy, and they give me back some good energy as well. So everything goes well for me. So what we have to learn with him is that perseverance and the will to change goes a long way, right? We can make a big difference. And in the beginning, it's not going to work, like he said, but with time, we have to persevere, right? If you know you are on the right track, so let's persevere because we get in a good place. And it doesn't seem that he needs a lot to be happy, right? It looks like what he really needs is his uh, his joy of life, his will to be happy. That's what the most important part for him. Um, Another important topic is that people like to discuss is the health, how thoughts affect our health. So we even the science today already accepts many instances that the thoughts affect our health. So good thoughts improve our health. Bad thoughts uh, they make it worse, right? It does not help at all. So Joana de Angelis, she mentions that the thought that we have goes through all our cells in our body, especially the immunologic system. The immunologic system is the one that works to protect us from many diseases. It's a very important system in our body, and so it goes through all the cells and it keeps the harmony in our body. Our thoughts keep the harmony or not, or make the opposite. So they go through us and they make there is a big effect in our body caused by our thoughts. Another important fact that the science has is the placebo effect. So every time there is a new drug that's going to be tested, they give the drug to a group, and then there is a control group that receives not the medicine, but something they think is the medicine, but something that doesn't do anything. So one of the reasons they do this control group is because many people will receive the medicine, and they will think because they think it's going to be good for them. So they will some guys will improve. So it has to be a control group that is just tests the drug. This is called the placebo effect. So many people will think that they are going to improve, and just because they think they will actually improve their health. So the thoughts originate diseases in many cases. It's fair to say that in a big amount of cases, they originate disease. Of course, if, for instance, our immunologic system is bad because we have a bad thoughts, then that will be it's easier for us to get some disease. Sergio Lopez, in one of his speeches, he talks about a patient that has gastritis. She has a very strong case of gastritis. And then she has learned that gastritis, gastritis, gastrite, stomach ache. She has a severe case of gastritis, and that's so she has learned to follow a very restrict diet, so that she cannot eat anything that is outside of her diet, that because she has severe pain, it's really tough for her. And then for some reason, she starts taking some medicine that has a for other issues. It's not gastritis, but she starts taking some medicine that makes her sleepwalk at night. It has the side effect. And then at night she goes, sleepwalks, goes to the fridge, always, and starts eating sweet stuff. Like one, just stuff that she can't eat at all. It's really hard for her. Like she should never eat that. And she goes get a pot of jam one night, like a lot. Then goes to ice cream another night, and then goes to dessert the other night. And then the family, so who is doing that at night? And then they figure out that's her. It has to be her, and they figure it is her. So they bring this patient to Sergio, and he looks at the medicine and said that's the side effect of the medicine, so she can sleepwalk. So let's give something else to her, right? And then he changes, and but he goes like, what's going on? She could not eat this, and she ate, and she woke up, and she was fine. So every time she was waking up, she was just fine. She did not remember she ate anything, and she did not feel any pain anymore on those things that she didn't notice she was eating. And then he says, so this disease has to be from emotional cause. It's so she cannot see herself eating those things for some reason. And then he goes to therapy and he figure out what's the issue. So the many times the disease has not to do with it's not organic at all, right? It's just something emotional or some problem we have, another problem we have. Now, so we can say thoughts are very important for disease, but it doesn't mean that, now let's be careful. It doesn't mean that every time we see someone that has some disease, we can say this person has bad thoughts. That's why he's having this disease. Let's not do that, because we cannot forget that we are old spirits. We had, all of us here, we had many lives before. We made mistakes in the past that has to be paid, or we have some debts that we have to redeem. And many times in our lives, we can ask to have this or that disease because it's exactly what we need to learn some lesson. So we have diseases for many reasons. Now, if we have positive thought, great. That is going to avoid. We are going to avoid lots of unnecessary diseases, right? We can have a better health. It's going to help us a lot. But not all the diseases are caused by bad thoughts. That's my point. I have a. We found a parable of black and white birds. It's written. It was given by a Muslim spiritual teacher called. His name was Tierno Bokar. He lived like 100 years ago, and it's a very good parable to explain the how thoughts work and between two or more people. I already gave the example of one, like Miss Payne and Mr. Lovejoy. It's about one person thinking how it affects himself. Now we start talking about more people together, how bad thoughts and good thoughts they affect two or more people. And this parable, it's very close to what we teach in Spiritism. Uh, and the reason I'm showing is because I like to show like some people from other background, they kind of get to the same teachings that we have in Spiritism. It just makes us more comfortable to explain Spiritism. It makes more confident that what we teach is really the only truth, right? The God is only one, and there is only one truth. So he compares the black birds with bad thoughts and the white bird with good thoughts. And then that's the man's heart. So the man's heart has many good thoughts and bad thoughts together. And every time if I have some problem with someone and I have a bad thought, and then I want to, like if I have envy of someone, so one of these black birds will get this energy, this bad energy, and will go towards the other person, that also the other man. And when it reaches that person, if that person also is on the same vibration, if he also has similar thoughts, if it's on the same frequency, there will be a hole for a black bird to be there, to sit on that person. Uh, and then if this person is not doesn't have any bad thoughts, so there is no place, and then the bird will come back to me, and the energy is going to affect me myself again. And same way with a white bird. If I have a good thought about someone, I will energize one of the white birds, and this white bird will have good energies and will go to the person I'm thinking about. And if this person is on symptom, is has affinity with me, or with my vibration, the good thoughts, there will be a place in his heart to receive my white bird, and the white bird will sit down there and will give this person good energy. And the teaching at the end for Terno Bokar was the principle that we should generate only the purest spiritual vibrations. We should always have good thoughts, because if someone sends us the bad energy, then we don't have a place for this bad energy to get in our hearts. We don't leave it, so we are safe, right? And now I'm going to explain it according to Spiritism, which is at the end is very, very close to what we teach in Spiritism. So if we have two people or more people, we can have, and let's say I'm over there, I'm here, Andre is there. All right, let's do the opposite. That's me, that's Andre over there. Okay. So I have envy of Andre because I like his car is super nice. I don't have this car, so I have a bad thought, and I'm sending it to Andre, right? And Andre, for some reason, he's always on the same vibration as me. So let me go back. Andre can if Andre is not in the same vibration as me, so this energy doesn't find him, doesn't affect him at all. So Andre is thinking about good stuff, just good thoughts. He's protected. He has a different vibration. We say in spiritism that the bad thoughts have low vibration, the good thoughts have higher vibration. So he's on a high vibration, so he's protected. Nothing happens to him. But if for some reason he is on the same vibration as me, then this energy connects to him. That's what happens. And the energy, like we said, thought is energy. We just because science cannot measure it, the spirit says no, it is energy. We're gonna get there. We're gonna learn. So there is a transfer of bad energy from me to him if he has the same vibration. And this transfer of energy, what will happen with me? So I will have bad thoughts. We saw in health what is going to happen with my health, with my well-being. I'm going to have envy, uh, which is a very, in the case, in the example, it could be hate, could be jealousy, could be anything, any bad thought, right? Uh, so it's going to be affect my body, my spirit, my life. And because Andrea was susceptible, also is going to happen the same thing with him. And this thought has an intensity. Like the stronger my thoughts are, the stronger the energy is. And this thought has also the time. The more I think about it, the stronger the energy is. The more energy I'm sending. So two factors. It's like real any energy is like this. It's time and intensity. So it's same thing with the thought. But let's say now Andrea also feels that I envy him and he doesn't like, and he sends back to me. He sends another kind of bad thought in my direction. So then we have a circuit. We have a feedback, and now we have two people giving bad energy, so it's stronger. It's harder to it's affecting us a lot more, right, with time. It's making more damaging us. And let's say now we have a spirit, a disincarnated spirit that also is on the same vibration, and he gets attracted. That's what happens. So he feels this vibration, this energy, and he is on the same. He has affinity with this energy, and then he gets attracted to this. And maybe he doesn't like one of us or both of us too. So he has some issues with us in the past that we did something for him, or maybe he just likes this kind of energy. He has this affinity with this, and he takes part of it. So it's three now. Thinking is more energy. It's bad for me. It's bad for Andre. It's bad for him too, for him or her. Everybody is losing here, right? Uh, but we always have the power to stop it. Whenever we think, okay, I don't want the situation anymore. We have the will. We can have the will to get out. We think I don't want the situation for me anymore. I want to pray. I want to go to try to get my vibration up a little bit, and then I disconnect from it. Of course, it's harder, right? With time, the more we leave it, let it happen, it's harder to disconnect because then we have more bad thoughts. I now I have not envy, but I have hate. I have some other stuff, other bad things coming with time, right? We have some me and Andrea already are kind of fighting and have some other issues, so things just go downhill from there. So it's harder, but we always have the the way out if you really want it. And nobody wins, right? Everybody gets it's bad for everybody. Now we have the good side of it, which is positive thoughts. It's exactly the same thing. Just this, instead of negative, it's positive. So now we and Andrea are in good shape. We made peace with each other. I bought another car that's better. So we are okay now. We are good. So I'm sending some peace, good vibration to him, good stuff. And he is also if he's not in good vibration, if he's low vibration, he's not going to receive my energy. So sorry Andre, about that. But if he's in good shape, he's also in the same as me. Then yes, he will receive it. So it's energy flow coming from me to him, and is good for me. It's good for my body. It's good for my life. I feel good, and same for him. And now he also can send back to me, and then we have this connection. Right? So our friendship is going to be better. We get along every day better. So it's good for us both. And also, if there is a good spirit that likes us and also is on the same vibration, he can act here and send good energy to us. And, sometimes I can pray and send good vibrations to André, even if he's not at that moment well. The spirit will help us for him to receive that energy whenever he is in better shape again. So so this is the opposite. Positive thoughts. There is a good energy flowing. It is good for everyone in this circuit. Uh, there is an important note, which is many books talk about positive thinking, and they say that people that use the positive thinking, they will have all their problems solved. Everything is going to be good, and this, unfortunately, is not true. Uh, our life is not going to change like this. It's going to take time, and like I said before, we still have our past, right? We still have uh, mistakes that we have made, and they have to be redeemed. So our life's not going to be rosy, all good from now on. There will still be tribulations. There's still lessons that you have to learn. Many times we asked to go through those lessons in this life so we can learn new things. So the life of sure, for sure, it will improve a lot, and we will go through these tribulations if you have positive thoughts. You go through these trials and expiations that we have to go through in much better shape, and we will have we'll be more prepared to win the challenges, to go through them in good shape. But I cannot promise that everything is going to be uh, blue sky from now on. It's not like that. But you can say that we avoid a lot of unnecessary trouble, right? Because if you have our brain is going to be our spirit's going to be thinking all the time, and it's going to be thinking bad thoughts or good thoughts. If you can pick, let's pick good thoughts, right? Because we have all the benefit. Okay, and who controls my thoughts? Some people say I can't control, right? It's easier said than done. I cannot control. The thoughts just pop up in my head, and there is always a voice that is like judging me or saying some bad things about myself, and I can't control it sometimes. Many people feel it like they have some voice that is saying negative things about them. So we can do anything. We can control any situation, and for us we have to learn how the thoughts work, so we can control it. According to Emmanuel in the book Thoughts and Life, uh, this is how things work, how a thought becomes action. So the way we think will create our feelings. Our feelings will create one idea, and the idea will create the words, what we say, and our behavior. And then this will create the action after that. For me, it was a new thing. I thought feelings and thought was not what I thought feelings was first or together, but now it's a lot clearer for me the way it works. So first thought, the thought creates my feelings. So if I start working my what I think, then my feelings are going to change. The way I feel about something. If I have a bad thought, I will have a bad feeling. If I have if I think of, if I'm ignorant and I have some the wrong thought about something, that will create a bad feeling and bad idea, bad word, bad action, and same thing for if I'm not ignorant, I know about myself, I know about God's laws, I know about the way the world works, right? The We have all laws of action reaction. We have to be good or bad, what we have to do. So if I have that done in me, then I can change everything for good. And with the will, right, uh, which is the management. So he also says, Emmanuel, that the human mind has four parts. That's just for curiosity: desire, intelligence, imagination, and memory. And all these four parts, desire, intelligence, imagination, memory, they are under the management of will. The will get us to, will discipline all these four parts to make them the best they can be. So Emmanuel says, the will is the wise and alert management, govern all sectors of mental activity. This was also for me new. I was really happy to learn that the will. I did not know that now I know how to control my thoughts. So about if I have the will to control it, and we show how to do it in a better way. pretty soon. This is the answer for the will working in inner transformation. That's how we control our thoughts. That's how we improve the quality of our thoughts. We cannot go from not controlling to controlling. We go improvement. We do steady improvement. That's why we need the will. We need the perseverance to make it improve little by little. So first, have a plan for your life. We we are sometimes very superficial, and we do not reflect about our own lives. We just live in autopilot, and we let the flow of life dictate where we'll be in the future. We don't take care of our future many times. So it's like life is like a boat without paddle, adrift in the ocean. That's what we many times do. We are so embedded or covered, overwhelmed with our life, our material life, what we have to get money, we have to buy this or pay the bills and things like that. That we just stop. We don't think about our lives, where we want to be in 6 months, 1 year, or more. What is important for me? What's not important? We kind of forget to do this. So have a plan for your life. That's important. And some other people say that, oh no, this is too cold. This is just reasoning. But life is about emotion. I want to let the flow of emotions drive my life. But I dispute that. I think we can have reasoning. We can think. We can plan our lives and still have emotions and feel the emotions and uh, have a fulfilled life. We can do both. The opposite of rational is irrational. It's not like emotion, right? Emotion is not the opposite of rational. We can do both. So let's not go to this poetic. Let's forget about this poetic way of seeing life. That life has to be all emotion. Yeah, it has to be emotion, but we can use our mind too. We can make it work. Both work. That's the challenge of life. One of the challenges of life. Like we can always improve. We don't have to go to the left or to the right. We can have it combined. So this helps. That's a way of using discipline to have our life. Another uh, good thing we have meditation. Meditation is very uh, is a very good thing for us. Like to go inside of us. To we have here in our Spiritist Center. We have every first and third Mondays at 7 p.m. Right? 7 p.m. here we have meditation. Uh, we you can come here. It's just your time, and it's gonna be well spent. We Joana de Angelis, she recommends we do it every day. A little bit of meditation, maybe 2 times a day. Not a long meditation. It doesn't have to be long. It will start like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and then with time it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it's going to be easier to do. In the beginning, we need some persistence to make it. Every time we try something different, we need some persistence. And the persistence. So if you think that there will be a reward, which is happiness, right? Which is the we are educating our thoughts. This is a good reward that will help us in this life and many other lives after that. So let's spend some time meditation. The idea is like to get inside of yourself, think about the weaknesses, the strengths we have, and get to know yourself better. Whenever you know yourself better, it's easier to change for the better. Another one that I like to bring up is silence. Uh, have some silence. Nowadays we have like a 24 7 entertainment machines in our cell phones, and we kind of every time we are doing something now we get a headphone and we're gonna listen to music or we're gonna watch a series, something on the cell phone, or we're gonna go to Netflix and spend a lot of time doing these things. And I'm not against that. I just think we need some balance. It's good for us to have some balance. So we should spend some time in silence with ourselves once in a while. Just give some time to do that. Maybe sometime you are driving to work and then you decide, okay, today I'm not going to listen to the radio. I'm going to be with my thoughts here. Or if I'm going to exercise, so today I'm not going to get the headphones. So I'm going to go in silence and think about my life. Or I'm going to work in the backyard, or I'm going to do something, or I'm going to exercise, do anything. So once in a while, leave it off. Just stay in silence. Uh, you can think about your life. You can think about how you feel. Uh, if you are happy, unhappy, why, and then you start to digging every time more. Dig into I'm feeling happy. Why I'm feeling happy? Because of this, and I'm feeling happy because why? Why is that? So what happened? And why I'm feeling like this? What's behind that? And we cannot, we should not never be scared of digging. The more it's like this is like an exercise. The more we do, the more it works, and we learn more about ourselves. And also, let's always uh, ask for help. Right? We can ask for our guardian angel for help to guide us and to help us to learn more about ourselves. The more we learn about us, the more our thoughts improve. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to be happy. It's just the question is that because we don't know ourselves well or we have some uh, ignorance, everybody is ignorant in one way or another. We don't know everything, right? So we want to be happy, but then we are misguided. We try to look for happiness in the wrong place. And in Spiritism, we learn where to look for the happiness in the right place. And many other religions too, right? It's not only us. And this is something I always try to talk about in my talks. Is the question 919: how to achieve knowing oneself. This is a question that our my favorite uh, saint on the Spirit's book, Saint Augustine. He answers this question 919. Now we know Andrea told us that St. Augustine, in translate to English, is St. Austin. So it's St. Austin that does it. And he says like how I'm going to know myself. So because this was Socrates said that. Socrates said before Jesus Christ said to be happy you need to know yourself. And then they bring it up to the Book of Spirits and St. Augustine decides to answer this question. How to know yourself. And he says, that in one of his lives, St. Augustine saying, one of my lives, every night when I would go to bed, I would review my day. I would go through everything that happened in my day. So the good things, the bad things that happened, if I acted well, if I acted in a way that someone could complain about me, and I would try to see what I did right, what I did wrong, why I did this, why I did that. If some enemy of mine told me something about me, was he right? Because our first reaction is my enemy is wrong, right? Someone says something negative about me, he is wrong. I just dismiss it. We are dismissive. But what if you listen what this person is saying? Sometimes he could be right. And because the enemy doesn't have he just says whatever he wants to say. Sometimes he could give good feedback to us. So that's what Santa Augustine says. So listen to them. So sometimes they will say something that's valuable for you. And he said too that we should ask our guardian angel for help in this habit in doing this every time better. So again, what we are seeing here is the will. We have the will to improve. We try to do something over and over again, and it becomes a habit. It's a good habit. It's easier to do with time because it's a habit. It's easier, and it's going to give us a lot of benefits in the future. So it's a very good investment. I ask you guys to do. And study. That's a lot. One thing that we offer here. Study. Why study? Because if we know how things work, if you know the path to happiness, if you know how God, what are the laws of God, why, what He expects from us, it's always good. It will save us a lot of trouble, a lot of going the wrong path, because we study, we know what to do, and we avoid the minefields, right? We just go straight to the path that has to be done. So studying is very important part of having good thoughts, being happy, being closer to God, etc. So this is not everything. We may have more stuff. Yeah. It's a lot already. It's good, yeah. And okay, so this is uh, iceberg. Is obvious. It's an iceberg. And what it represents. So this is something I had the idea yesterday. This is the human mind, in my view. What is above the water is what we know about ourselves. What is below is what we don't know. That's our homework. So we are in life as we are getting the lessons, but we need to do the homework. Homework is to what doing meditation, everything I said. This is the homework. If you just go through life without stopping to think and spending time doing the homework, we probably have to do it again, to go back and try again to do the same class again, right? And we don't want. Nobody wants to do that. So this is the homework. So what is every square here is like one part of us that we don't know, like family, what my family taught me, what my friends taught me, my past lives, everything I have from past lives that I learned that is not accessible directly, but I have the access like through who I am. Every time I know who I am, I have access to everything I have learned in the past lives. So this is true. What are the strengths, the weakness? So every square is like a part of me that I don't know. Every country, culture that we lived before, and it is accessible to us, not directly, but indirectly, it's there. And many other squares. So there's a lot of homework to do. So invite all of us to use our will, which is, according to Emmanuel, the wise and alert management of our life to govern and discipline our lives, according to the Christian teachings, to according to all the lessons that Kardec, the Spirit of Truth, and many others brought to us. And these are the path for a better, happier future where we live closer to God. And that's all. Thank you.